What if I told you there's a philosophy that could be the ultimate cheat code for mastering your mind and navigating life's toughest challenges? As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. In today's video, we're diving straight into how Stoicism can transform the way you think, act, and live. This isn't just about ancient wisdom, it's about practical tools to help you reframe your mindset, focus on what truly matters, and find peace in the chaos of modern life. We'll explore thought-provoking questions like, how can Stoicism help you overcome distractions and negativity? What's the secret to finding clarity and purpose every day? And how can you truly unlock the power of your mind? If you're ready to simplify your life, train your mind, and embrace the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's begin this journey together. Remember, as Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Let's prepare your mind for greatness starting now. Lesson 1. A morning ritual. All right, let's talk about mornings, not the frantic, half-asleep dash fueled by caffeine and chows, but the kind of morning that sets the stage for a day filled with clarity, purpose, and yes, a little bit of aweism. Let's be honest. How many of us are guilty of hitting the snooze button one too many times, only to wake up feeling groggy, stressed, and already behind before the day has even begun? We rush through everything, grabbing a quick bite, throwing on whatever's clean, and dashing out the door, hoping the day somehow gets better. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if your mornings could become a time of calm, focus, and intention, a launchpad for a more productive and fulfilling day? The truth is, the way you start your morning can shape your entire day. Ancient philosophers knew this well. Aristotle, for instance, believed that mornings were the foundation of the day, advocating for routines that included movement, reflection, and learning. And let's face it, if it worked for one of history's greatest thinkers, there's probably something to it. So, how do you create a morning ritual that works for you, one that nourishes your mind, body, and soul? Step 1. Break the snooze button trap. Instead of hitting snooze, try waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This consistency helps regulate your body's natural rhythms, making it easier to wake up and feel energized. When your alarm goes off, take a moment to breathe deeply, stretch, and set an intention for the day. It might sound simple, but those first few minutes can set the tone for everything that follows. Step 2. Hydrate and nourish yourself. After hours of sleep, your body craves water, so start your day with a glass of water to rehydrate. Then, fuel your body with a healthy breakfast, something that gives you sustained energy rather than a quick sugar rush. Think eggs, oatmeal, or a smoothie packed with fruits, veggies, and protein. It's a small habit, but it can make a big difference in how you feel throughout the morning. Step 3. Move your body. Movement is another key part of a powerful morning ritual. You don't need to hit the gym for an hour or run a marathon, just get your body moving. A brisk walk, a yoga flow, or even a few minutes of stretching can wake up your muscles, and get your blood flowing. Exercise isn't just about physical health. It's a proven way to boost your mood and mental clarity, setting you up for a more productive day. Step 4. Feed your mind. Take a few minutes to journal, meditate, or read something inspiring. This is your chance to clear your head, focus your thoughts, and cultivate a positive mindset. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Reflecting on that simple truth can shift your perspective and help you approach the day with gratitude and purpose. Step 5. Plan your day. Take a few minutes to review your schedule, prioritize your tasks, and set realistic goals. This small act of preparation can help you stay organized and focused, reducing the stress of feeling overwhelmed. It's not about cramming more into your day. It's about being intentional with your time and energy. Real-world inspiration. Take inspiration from real-world examples of people who swear by their morning rituals. CEOs like Tim Cook start their day with meditation to clear their minds and focus on what matters most. Writers and artists use morning pages to unlock their creativity, writing down their thoughts without judgment to spark new ideas. Athletes stick to morning workouts to prepare their bodies and minds for the challenges ahead. Each of these examples shows that a morning ritual isn't about perfection, it's about finding what works for you and sticking with it. The lesson: in the morning, win the day. Mornings are more than just a time to wake up. They're an opportunity to set the tone for your entire day. A morning ritual doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. It's about carving out a small, sacred space for yourself, a time to connect with your inner self, nourish your body, and prepare your mind for whatever lies ahead. As the saying goes, win the morning, win the day. Your turn. What will you change? Now, I'll leave you with this question. What small change can you make to your mornings that could have a big impact on your life? Whether it's waking up a little earlier, adding a moment of mindfulness, or simply drinking a glass of water, start experimenting with your mornings. Your future self will thank you. Lesson 2. The day in review. All right, let's talk about something simple yet profoundly impactful. Reflecting on your day. Not the kind of reflection where you replay every awkward moment or beat yourself up over mistakes, but a mindful, intentional review that helps you grow, learn, and ultimately become the best version of yourself. In today's fast-paced world, it's so easy to get stuck on the hamster wheel of life. You know the routine: wake up, rush through your morning, work all day, eat, maybe squeeze in a quick workout or scroll through social media, and then collapse into bed, only to do it all over again tomorrow. But what if you could break that cycle? What if, instead of racing through life on autopilot, you paused at the end of each day to reflect, to learn from your experiences, celebrate your wins, and prepare for a better tomorrow? This idea isn't new. It's something the ancient Stoics valued deeply. Philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius were masters of daily reflection, using it as a way to examine their thoughts, actions, and emotions. They believed that this practice was the key to gaining wisdom and living a virtuous life. As Seneca famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." And when you think about it, he's absolutely right. How can we grow if we never stop to evaluate where we've been and where we're going? So, how do you actually do this? Start with what I like to call the highlights reel. Think back on your day and identify the positive moments. What made you smile? What did you accomplish, no matter how small? What are you grateful for? This practice isn't just about feeling good. It's about training your brain to notice the positives, which helps cultivate gratitude and optimism. Next, move on to the learning curve. Reflect on the challenges you faced. What didn't go as planned? What mistakes did you make? And more importantly, what did you learn from them? Remember, mistakes aren't failures, they're stepping stones to growth. Every challenge is an opportunity to improve if you take the time to learn from it. Finally, consider the course correction. Based on what you've learned, identify 1 or 2 small changes you can make to improve tomorrow. Maybe it's setting a new goal, practicing patience, or simply being more mindful of your thoughts. As the old saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. To make this more relatable, let's look at some real-world examples. Many successful CEOs swear by daily journaling, using it to reflect on their decisions, track their progress, and stay aligned with their goals. Athletes do something similar, reviewing their performances to identify areas for improvement and mentally preparing for their next game. And even parents can incorporate reflection into their bedtime routines with their kids, sharing what they're grateful for and discussing lessons learned from the day's challenges. These practices aren't just for high achievers, they're for anyone who wants to live with more intention and purpose. So, why does this matter? Because the day in review isn't about dwelling on the past, it's about learning from it. It's about celebrating your successes, understanding your setbacks, and making small, consistent changes that lead to big transformations over time. As the philosopher Heraclitus said, "Only constant in life is change." By embracing change and using reflection as a tool for growth, you can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. Now, here's a question for you. What's one thing you can start doing tonight to reflect on your day? Whether it's jotting down a few thoughts in a journal, sharing your highlights with a loved one, or simply taking 5 minutes to sit quietly and think, give it a try. Because when you take the time to review your day, you're not just looking back, you're setting yourself up for a better tomorrow. Lesson 3. The truth about money. All right, let's have a real conversation about money, not just the dollars in your bank account, but the role it plays in your life and how it shapes your happiness. We're not diving into budgeting hacks or stock tips here. Instead, we're peeling back the layers to uncover the truth about money and its deeper meaning. Let's start with a hard truth. Society often tells us that more money equals more happiness, more freedom, and more success. But does it? As the philosopher Epicurus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Think about that for a second. It's not about how much you have, it's about how much you feel you need. And here's the kicker: most of us need far less than we think we do. Let's talk about something called the hedonic treadmill. Have you ever noticed that no matter how much money you make, it never feels like enough? You get a raise, and for a moment, you're thrilled. But soon, that excitement fades, and you're back to wanting more. That's the hedonic treadmill at work. The idea that we quickly adapt to new circumstances and our happiness returns to its baseline. It's why chasing money for happiness can feel like running in place. You're always moving, but you're not really getting anywhere. And here's where it gets dangerous. This endless pursuit of money can become a trap. We sacrifice our time, our health, our relationships, and even our values, all in the name of earning more. But at what cost? Seneca said it best. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. So, how do we break free from this money trap? It starts by redefining what wealth really means. True wealth isn't just about having a fat bank account. It's about having enough to live a life that feels comfortable and fulfilling. It's about financial security, yes, but also good health, meaningful relationships, purposeful work, and a sense of gratitude for what you already have. Speaking of gratitude, take a moment every day to appreciate what you already have. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for, or just pausing to reflect on the small joys in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, and that simple shift can be life-changing. And when it comes to spending, think about this. Are you spending money on things that truly matter to you? Instead of splurging on the latest gadget or designer bag, consider spending on experiences that bring you joy, like a trip with loved ones or a class that helps you grow. Invest in things that align with your values, or better yet, use your money to help others. As the saying goes, buy experiences, not things. And here's a secret many people overlook. Giving back is one of the most fulfilling ways to use your money. Whether it's donating to a cause you care about, volunteering your time, or simply helping someone in need, giving creates a sense of purpose and joy that no amount of spending can replicate. There are so many real-world examples of people who've embraced these principles. Take the minimalist entrepreneurs who've built wealth but choose to live simply, prioritizing experiences and relationships over material possessions. Or the charitable billionaires, like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, who've pledged to give away most of their fortunes to improve the lives of others. And let's not forget the everyday people who find joy in the simple things, spending time with family, exploring nature, or pursuing their passions. Research even shows that once your basic needs are met, additional income has a diminishing effect on happiness. It's not the money itself that brings satisfaction, it's how you use it and what you prioritize in life. Here's the bottom line. Money is a tool, not a master. It's not inherently good or bad, it's all about how you choose to use it. By redefining wealth, practicing gratitude, spending wisely, and giving back, you can step off the hedonic treadmill and create a life that's truly rich in meaning and fulfillment. As Henry David Thoreau so beautifully put it, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. So, here's my question for you. How are you using money to enrich your life, not just your wallet? Because at the end of the day, The richest life isn't the one with the most money, it's the one with the most meaning. Lesson 4. Push understanding. All right, let's talk about diving deep, not into the ocean, but into the vast sea of knowledge and understanding that surrounds us every day. In a world overflowing with information, from social media posts to breaking news headlines, it's easy to skim the surface and feel like we've got the gist of things. But how much of what we consume do we truly understand? How often do we stop to ask why or how instead of just what? As Socrates famously said, "I know that I know nothing." It wasn't a statement of ignorance, but a call to dig deeper, to question assumptions, and to seek the truths that lie beneath the surface. And that's what deep understanding is all about, not settling for easy answers, but challenging ourselves to think critically, connect ideas, and see the bigger picture. Take a moment to think about your daily routine. How often do you find yourself scrolling through social media, reading headlines, or watching quick videos? It's like swimming in the shallow end of a pool, safe, easy, but ultimately limiting. Now, consider the moments when you've really tried to understand something, like learning a new skill, solving a tough problem, or having a meaningful conversation. Those moments are like diving into deeper waters, where the effort is greater, but the rewards are far richer. Pushing for deep understanding develops critical thinking, helping you analyze information, evaluate evidence, and draw your own conclusions. In a world filled with misinformation and half-truths, this skill is more important than ever. It's what allows you to navigate complexity, make better decisions, and avoid being misled. But deep understanding isn't just about sharpening your mind, it's also about opening your heart. When you take the time to truly understand others, you begin to see the world through their eyes. You understand their struggles, motivations, and perspectives, and this fosters empathy and compassion. Think about a time when you really listened to someone, not just to respond, but to understand. Maybe it was a friend sharing their challenges or a stranger with a story that caught you off guard. Those moments remind us that understanding isn't just intellectual, it's deeply human. And when we understand each other better, we build stronger relationships and create a more just and equitable world. Deep understanding also fuels creativity and innovation. When you fully grasp a problem, you're better equipped to find creative solutions. Take Richard Feynman's advice. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. By questioning your assumptions and digging deeper, you open the door to breakthroughs that can change your life, even the world. Think of scientists who challenge existing theories, investigative journalists who uncover hidden truths, or entrepreneurs who solve problems in ways no one else has thought of. These people don't settle for surface-level knowledge. They dive deep, and that's where the magic happens. So, how can you push for deep understanding in your own life? Start by asking questions, lots of them. Don't be afraid to ask obvious or silly questions. They're often the most important ones. Challenge assumptions, including your own. Why do you believe what you believe? Where does your information come from? And is it reliable? Seek out diverse perspectives, especially from people who see the world differently than you do. Engage in meaningful conversations and don't shy away from uncomfortable topics. Look for patterns and connections and try to see the bigger picture instead of focusing on isolated facts. And above all, be patient. Deep understanding takes time, effort, and a willingness to embrace complexity. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, a software engineer, once told me about a problem he faced at work. His team was struggling with a bug in their code, and after hours of frustration, they were ready to give up and settle for a quick fix. But instead, he decided to dive deeper. He spent hours researching, asking questions, and testing different approaches. In the end, he not only fixed the bug, but also discovered a way to improve the entire system. His willingness to dig deeper didn't just solve the problem, it made the whole product better. The lesson here is simple. Pushing for deep understanding is worth it. It's not just for academics, scientists, or intellectuals. It's for anyone who wants to grow, connect, and make a difference. As Aristotle said, the ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival. So, I'll leave you with this question. What's one area of your life where you could dive deeper? Whether it's a topic you're curious about, a relationship you want to strengthen, or a problem you're trying to solve, take the plunge. Because the deeper you go, the more you'll discover. Not just. Lesson 5. The only prize. Forget the podium. Embrace the journey. All right, let's talk about winning. Not the kind of winning that comes with trophies, medals, or applause, but the kind of winning that actually matters. Living a life of purpose, passion, and growth. In today's world, we're so caught up in the chase for external validation, whether it's a promotion, a bigger paycheck, a fancier car, or the perfect Instagram-worthy life. We're told that achieving these things will finally make us happy. But here's the truth. External validation is temporary. It's like cotton candy sweet for a moment, but it dissolves quickly, leaving you craving more. And this endless pursuit of external success often leads to anxiety, burnout, and a sense of emptiness. As Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. True happiness doesn't come from what you achieve or acquire, it comes from within. So, how do we break free from this gold medal illusion? The answer lies in shifting your focus from external validation to intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the fire inside you, the passion that drives you to learn, grow, and contribute, not because someone is watching, but because it genuinely fulfills you. As psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi put it, the best moments in our lives are not the passive, receptive, relaxing times. The best moments usually occur if a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Think about that for a moment. The best moments in life aren't about the applause at the finish line. They're about the effort, the challenge, and the growth you experience along the way. To make this shift, start by defining your values. What truly matters to you? What kind of person do you want to be, and what kind of impact do you want to leave on the world? Take some time to reflect on these questions and write down your answers. These values will become your compass, guiding you toward a life of meaning and purpose. Next, set meaningful goals. Not the kind of goals society expects of you, but goals that align with your passions and values. Goals that excite you, challenge you, and make you want to jump out of bed in the morning. And as you work toward these goals, don't forget to embrace the journey. Life isn't about racing to the finish line, it's about enjoying every step of the way. Celebrate the small wins, learn from your setbacks, and savor the process of becoming a better version of yourself. As the saying goes, life is a journey, not a destination. One of the most rewarding parts of this journey is finding your flow. Flow is that magical state where you're so immersed in an activity that time seems to disappear. It's the sweet spot where challenge meets skill, where you're pushing yourself just enough to grow but not so much that you feel overwhelmed. Whether it's writing, painting, playing music, solving problems, or even cooking, find the activities that put you in this state of flow and make them a regular part of your life. Consider some real-world examples of intrinsic motivation in action. Think of the artist who paints not for fame or fortune, but for the sheer joy of creation, the thrill of expressing themselves and exploring new ideas. Or the scientist who dedicates their life to uncovering the mysteries of the universe, driven by curiosity and a desire to contribute to human knowledge. Or the volunteer who gives their time and energy to help others, not for recognition, but because they find meaning and purpose in serving their community. These people aren't chasing external rewards, they're living lives that are rich in passion, purpose, and fulfillment. So, here's the bottom line. The only prize worth winning is the one that comes from within. It's the satisfaction of living a life that's true to your values, fueled by your passions, and focused on making a positive impact on the world. As Confucius said, the superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. So forget the podium, forget the applause, and focus on what truly matters. What drives you? What fulfills you? What makes you come alive? Because at the end of the day, the real victory isn't about standing on a podium, it's about embracing the journey and living a life that feels meaningful and true. So, what's one step you can take today to start living for your own prize? Lesson 6. The power of a mantra. All right, let's talk about mantras, not the kind you chant in a yoga studio, though if that's your vibe, go for it. But the kind that can become your personal powerhouse, your go-to tool for navigating life's challenges and staying on track toward your goals. A mantra is more than just a word or phrase. It's a guiding principle, a positive affirmation, and a mental reset button all rolled into one. It's like having a personal cheerleader in your pocket, ready to remind you of your strength and potential whenever life gets tough. Think about how often do we let negative self-talk creep in, telling us we're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. A mantra flips that script, replacing doubt with encouragement and helping you cultivate a mindset of resilience, focus, and optimism. Mantras have been around for thousands of years, originating in ancient India as tools for meditation and spiritual growth in Hindu and Buddhist traditions. But the power of words to shape our thoughts and emotions isn't limited to any one culture or religion, it's a universal truth. As the Buddha said, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. And isn't that the truth? The words we repeat to ourselves, whether consciously or unconsciously, have the power to shape our reality. So why not choose words that empower, uplift, and inspire you? Here's how a mantra works. First, it helps you focus. When you repeat a mantra, it quiets the mental chatter, clears away distractions, and centers your mind on what truly matters. It's like hitting a mental reset button, especially in times of stress or overwhelm. Second, it acts as a positive affirmation, reinforcing beliefs that you want to internalize. By telling yourself, "I am capable," or "I am enough," over and over again, you're training your subconscious mind to believe it, and over time, those beliefs become your reality. Third, mantras help regulate emotions. Imagine you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed. Repeating a calming phrase like, "I am at peace," can soothe your nervous system and bring a sense of calm. Finally, a mantra can be a source of motivation and inspiration, reminding you of your goals and values when the going gets tough. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, a marathon runner, swears by her mantra, "One step at a time." She repeats it during every race, especially when she hits the dreaded wall around mile 20. It's simple, but it keeps her focused, grounded, and motivated to push through. And isn't that what we all need sometimes, a reminder to take things one step at a time, no matter how big or overwhelming the challenge feels? Creating your own mantra is easier than you think. Start by choosing a phrase that resonates with you, something that speaks to your values, goals, or personal struggles. It could be a quote from someone you admire, a line from a song, or a simple affirmation you create yourself. Keep it short and sweet, so it's easy to remember and repeat. Then, make it a habit. Repeat your mantra regularly during your morning routine, while exercising, or whenever you need a mental boost. The more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. Mantras aren't just for athletes or entrepreneurs, they're for everyone. Whether you're a parent juggling responsibilities, a student facing exams, or someone navigating the ups and downs of life, a mantra can be your anchor. For example, an entrepreneur might use a mantra like, "I am building something meaningful," to stay motivated during tough times. A parent might repeat, "I am patient and present," to stay grounded in the chaos of family life. And anyone can benefit from mantras like, "I am enough," or "I am grateful," to cultivate self-love and gratitude. The bottom line is this: a mantra is more than just words. It's a tool for self-empowerment, a way to tap into your inner strength and wisdom. By creating and using a personal mantra, you can transform your thoughts, regulate your emotions, and take control of your actions. As Lao Tzu beautifully put it, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny." So, what will your mantra be? What words will you choose to guide you, inspire you, and remind you of your power? Because the right words, repeated often enough, can change your life. Lesson 7. The 3 areas of training, your trifecta for a kick-ass life. All right, let's talk about leveling up your life, not in the sense of gaming or collecting experience points, but in the way that truly counts, becoming the best version of yourself. The ancient philosophers believed there were three key areas of training that could transform your life: the training of desire, action, and assent. Now, I know that might sound a bit lofty or abstract, but trust me, these ideas are incredibly practical and can help you navigate the challenges of modern life with clarity and purpose. Think of them as your personal trifecta for building a life filled with meaning, growth, and fulfillment. Let's start with the training of desire. This is all about understanding and managing what you want and why you want it. How often do we chase after things, money, success, approval, only to realize they don't bring us the happiness we expected? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus nailed it when he said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. It's not the desire itself that's the problem, but how attached we are to it." For example, think about how often we get sucked into social media, endlessly scrolling and comparing ourselves to others. It's easy to feel inadequate or unfulfilled, isn't it? To train your desire, you could set boundaries, limit your screen time, delete apps that don't serve you, or replace that time with something more meaningful, like reading, exercising, or spending time with loved ones. The key is to align your desires with your values and focus on what truly matters to you. Next, we have the training of action, which is all about doing what's right and taking consistent steps toward your goals. Aristotle famously said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Think about that for a second. Your actions, repeated day after day, shape your character and ultimately your destiny. Let's say you've been wanting to get healthier, but you struggle to stick to an exercise routine. Instead of waiting for motivation to magically appear, you could set small, achievable goals. Maybe it's a 15-minute walk every day or hitting the gym twice a week. Find a workout buddy to keep you accountable, or reward yourself for sticking to your plan. The point is, every small action you take builds momentum, and over time, those actions become habits that define your life. Finally, there's the training of assent, which is about managing your thoughts and beliefs. This one's a game changer because, as the Buddha said, what we think, we become. Your thoughts have a powerful influence on your emotions and actions, so learning to control them is essential. How often do we let negative self-talk take over? I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. Or, I don't deserve happiness. These thoughts can feel so real, but they're just stories we tell ourselves. To train your assent, you could practice mindfulness, pay attention to your thoughts without judgment, and gently redirect them. Challenge those negative beliefs with positive affirmations like, "I am capable," or "I am worthy of love." And if you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out for support from a trusted friend, mentor, or therapist. Changing your mindset takes time, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Why does all of this matter so much? Truly important, and get caught up in chasing fleeting pleasures or external validation. But by training your desires, actions, and thoughts, you can take back control of your life. You can cultivate inner peace, resilience, and a sense of purpose that no outside force can take away. Think about it. What kind of life do you want to live? One where you're constantly reacting to the world around you, or one where you're intentionally shaping your own path? The bottom line is this: the three areas of training, desire, action, and assent aren't just ancient philosophical ideas. They're a practical, powerful framework for personal growth and self-improvement. By focusing on these areas, you can cultivate wisdom, build better habits, and create a life that feels deeply meaningful. As Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." So, let me ask you, which area of training could you start focusing on today? Whether it's managing your desires, taking consistent action, or shifting your mindset, every small step you take brings you closer to the life you truly want. Lesson 8. Watching the wise. All right, let's talk about a life hack that doesn't involve apps or gadgets but can completely transform the way you grow, learn, and live. Watching the wise. No, I'm not talking about sitting in a classroom or memorizing facts from a textbook. I'm talking about learning from those who've already walked the path, faced the challenges, and mastered the art of living. Think about the great thinkers of the past: Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. These weren't just people who sat around pondering life's mysteries. They lived it, observed it, and shared their wisdom so others could benefit. As Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving." The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. And that's the beauty of this approach. It's not just about learning, it's about growing, sharing, and becoming better together. Why should you watch the wise? For starters, it's like having a shortcut to personal growth. Instead of stumbling through life, trying to figure everything out on your own, you can learn from the experiences, successes, and failures of others. It's like having a cheat code for life. Why reinvent the wheel when someone has already done the hard work and left behind a roadmap? Beyond that, observing the wise expands your perspective. We all have blind spots, assumptions we don't question, biases we don't see. By learning from others, you can challenge your own thinking, broaden your understanding, and upgrade your mental software. And let's not forget the inspiration factor. Watching others overcome obstacles, achieve their goals, and live fulfilling lives can light a fire inside you. It's like having your own personal cheering squad, reminding you that if they can do it, so can you. So, how do you start watching the wise? First, identify your role models. Who are the people you admire most? Maybe it's a historical figure, a successful entrepreneur, a thought leader, or even someone in your own life, like a teacher or a parent. What qualities do they have that you want to cultivate? Make a list and start paying attention to how they think, act, and make decisions. Next, dive into their world. Read their books, watch their interviews, listen to their podcasts, or follow them on social media. Pay close attention to their habits, routines, values, and the way they handle challenges. What lessons can you take from their lives and apply to your own? If you're lucky enough, seek out mentorship. This doesn't have to be formal. It could be as simple as asking someone you admire for advice over coffee. And finally, don't just absorb what you learn. Reflect on it and put it into action. Wisdom isn't something you collect, it's something you live. Let me share a story to bring this to life. A friend of mine started her own business a few years ago. At first, she struggled. She was overwhelmed, unsure of her next steps and constantly doubting herself. Then, she began seeking out successful entrepreneurs to learn from. She read their books, attended their seminars, and even reached out to one of them, who became her mentor. Over time, she started applying what she learned, setting clear goals, building better habits, and focusing on her strengths. Today, her business is thriving, and she credits much of her success to the wisdom she gained from watching the wise. This isn't just about business, it's a principle that applies to every area of life. The thing is, wisdom doesn't only come from famous philosophers or successful entrepreneurs. It can come from anyone who embodies the qualities you admire: your parents, a teacher, a friend, or even a colleague. The key is to stay curious and open, always looking for opportunities to learn and grow. As Confucius said, by 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. So, which method will you choose? Will you reflect on your own life, learn from the examples of others, or take the hard road of trial and error? Watching the wise isn't about copying someone else's life. It's about gaining insights, expanding your perspective, and finding inspiration to live your own best life. So, who's on your list of role models, and what's the first lesson you'll take from them to improve your life today? Lesson 9. Keep it simple. All right, let's talk about simplifying life, not in the sense of selling all your possessions and moving to a cabin in the woods. Unless that's your dream, then go for it. But in the sense of cutting through the physical and mental clutter that's weighing you down. In today's world, we're drowning in choices, notifications, and commitments. We've got closets stuffed with clothes we never wear, calendars packed with obligations we don't care about, and minds constantly racing with to-do lists we can't seem to finish. It's no wonder we feel overwhelmed and exhausted. As Socrates wisely said, "Beware the barrenness of a busy life." Being busy doesn't mean you're productive or fulfilled. In fact, it often means the opposite. Busyness can distract you from what truly matters and leave you feeling empty despite all the hustle. Simplicity, on the other hand, is not about giving up everything or living in scarcity. It's about being intentional, focusing on what adds value to your life, and letting go of what doesn't. As Joshua Becker puts it, simplicity is the intentional promotion of the things we most value and the removal of anything that distracts us from them. Think about that for a second. What if you could strip away the noise, the unnecessary, and the overwhelming, and instead create space for joy, creativity, and connection? The good news is, you can. It starts with small, intentional steps. For example, decluttering your physical space is one of the easiest ways to simplify. Go through your home and get rid of anything you don't use, need, or love. That old sweater you haven't worn in years, donate it. The kitchen gadget you thought you'd use but never did, let it go. As the saying goes, outer order contributes to inner calm. And isn't that what we're all looking for, calm in the chaos? But it's not just about clutter. Our schedules are often just as messy. Take a hard look at your calendar. Are you saying yes to things you don't really want to do? Are you overscheduled to the point where you can't even catch your breath? Learn to say no more often and prioritize the activities that truly matter to you. As Greg McKeown said, if it isn't a hell yes, it's a no. Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you intentional. And then there's the digital clutter. How many unread emails are sitting in your inbox? How much time do you spend mindlessly scrolling through social media? Start unsubscribing from emails you don't read. Unfollow accounts that don't inspire you, and set limits on your screen time. As Cal Newport explains, digital minimalism is a philosophy of technology use in which you focus your online time on a small number of carefully selected and optimized activities that strongly support things you value and then happily miss out on everything else. What could you gain by stepping back from the digital noise? Let me share a story. A friend of mine used to feel constantly overwhelmed. Her mornings were chaotic, her evenings were spent scrolling through her phone, and her weekends were packed with commitments she didn't even enjoy. One day, she decided enough was enough. She started small, decluttering her closet, creating a capsule wardrobe with just a few versatile pieces. She simplified her mornings, saving time and energy by not agonizing over what to wear. Then she tackled her schedule, cutting back on social obligations and carving out time for herself. Finally, she implemented tech-free Sundays, where she put away her phone and spent the day reading, walking, or spending time with loved ones. The result? She felt lighter, calmer, and more in control of her life. And the best part? She didn't feel like she was sacrificing anything. She felt like she was gaining everything. So, what about you? What areas of your life feel cluttered? Your home, your schedule, your mind? What could you let go of to create more space for what truly matters? Simplifying your life isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation. It's about reclaiming your time, energy, and focus so you can invest them in the things that bring you joy and fulfillment. As Marcus Aurelius said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. By simplifying, you're not just clearing out the physical and mental clutter, you're creating room for the things that truly matter: your family, your passions, your well-being. As T.S. Eliot so beautifully put it, where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information? Simplifying your life allows you to reclaim that wisdom, to reconnect with what's truly important, and to live with more clarity and intention. So, what's one small step you can take today to start decluttering your life and mind? Life is a journey of constant learning and growth, and sometimes, to move forward, we need to pause, reflect, and simplify. Remember, true strength doesn't come from doing everything, but from focusing on what truly matters to you. So, starting today, take some time to declutter your life. Let go of what no longer serves you, and invest in what holds real value. You don't have to do it all perfectly just. Begin with small steps, like tidying up your space, saying no to unnecessary commitments, or spending quality time with loved ones. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below, We'd love to hear your story. And always remember, simplifying your life not only lightens your load, but also creates space for you to live more fully and meaningfully. See you in the next video.